Welcome to the Pizza Party. My name is Troy from troysweb.com. Visit my website for links to other YouTube channels that don't really have any content yet because I'm working on them. YouTube requires that you divide your content into categories, genres, niches, etc. Let's go. Today, I'm going to show you how to eat your garden. I just had so many tomatoes and cucumbers and peppers that I threw together a red wine, vinegar, and oil salad, for lack of a better word, or vegetable medley. How's that? And I had some in the fridge. I decided I'd fool around and find out because it's really hard to make bad pizza. Dude, you could put peanut butter and jelly on this pizza crust and it'd be fine. But speaking of the pizza crust, man, what a beautiful slice, right? Speaking of pizza crust, this is the great value Walmart pizza crusts that are pre-cooked, pre-made, ready to go, ready to bake, thin crust, right? I had two of these in my last video. I made a pepperoni pizza using one of these. I had a lot of oil on the bottom of the cast iron pan. It was a 12-inch cast iron pan. And it kind of gave me this really nice, as an afterthought, I realized that it's a good, it had a good, it was fried crust because the oil in the cast iron. But it didn't really seem like fried crust. It wasn't fried pizza. So it was unique. My initial reaction was, ew, that's different. But it came out kind of cool because there's a little bit of crunch or crispiness to it. But then the dough was kind of chewy and dry. But then I had so much material on there, so much tomato paste and sauce. Yeah, watch my last video. You'll see what I'm talking about. Anyway, I had an extra pizza crust left over, so rather than put this big old 12-inch floppy disk in the refrigerator and have it get jostled around for a week, I cut it into 4 pieces, and I decided I would make 4 slices and experiment and just fool around and find out. So I whipped out the old 8-inch cast iron pan, threw a piece of crust in there, put it on the stove, and the phone rang. I forgot all about the pizza being on the stove. I forgot that I turned the stove on, and it got a little bit darker than I anticipated or wanted it to, but that's fine. I flipped it over and it partied on. I took the pre-shredded Italian blend and Parmesan cheese mixture and put it on this slice, this 1/4 of a 12-inch pizza crust, right? And yes, I've moved away from using the pre-shredded cheeses, well, except for the parm, because buying a brick of parm, man, that stuff's like $10 a pound, dude. I'm telling you, it's more than steak. Man, okay, it depends on what kind of steak you buy, right? But anyway, here we are with a slice that has been pre-cooked on one side, then flipped over. It's raw on the bottom at this stage with raw cheese. And then I put on this beautiful thing. And if you notice, this little glass bowl here has, let's see, garden tomatoes, garden cucumbers, red garden bell peppers, red jalapeno garden hot peppers. And then I added white onion from the store, red wine vinegar, and olive oil, both from the store. And it was a nice, cold, refreshing, it was a refreshing cold salad. It had a really nippy bite from that red wine vinegar. And I used a slotted spoon and I'd put some on a plate, and then I would hit it with a little bit of salt. And man, I'm telling you, it was delicious. So here's that concoction on a single slice that already has the cheese on it. You can see that it's beginning to melt because the skillet is on, and here it is cooked. You can see around the edges. You can see the melted cheese, dude. I put cold veggies on there from the fridge, and I threw the whole cast iron. I heated it up on the stove to get the crust pre-cooked a little bit, and then I threw it in the oven, and it got nice and warm, and the cheese melted, and I'm telling you, it was the weirdest, tastiest pizza of the summer. And I got to eat my garden. That was the best part. So coming up, a bunch of other stuff. My next video, I did use one of the other slices just to bang together a quick slice with nothing more than garden tomato well, I guess roasted garden tomatoes, right? I take my tomatoes out of the garden, I throw them in a pan. That's mixed in here. In any of my other videos, you're going to see a cookie sheet filled with tomatoes. Then it goes into the oven. Then the tomato skins get nice and charred. In some cases, I peel off the skins and I have a skinless tomato sauce in a mason jar in my garage or in my refrigerator, not garage. Then I have, roasted tomatoes that have char on them and the skins are intact and it's big, chunky, badass tomato sauce that I also throw into a different mason jar. I label them, of course, so I know what's what date it was, and yeah, everything's cool. I'm gonna have a bunch of more content coming up, and I hope you will subscribe, click like, and share this with people. Hitting that share button opens up a little window that has a link that you can email, text, tweet, or send to Facebook or send to Instagram and all kinds of other stuff. It's pretty cool to share the videos. I watch dirt bike videos and four-wheel off-road, and I send stuff to my buddies, and they enjoy getting to see something that they didn't stumble across on YouTube, because YouTube is a bottomless pit. Anyway, leave a positive comment. I would love to hear from you, and I will try to reply to every comment I get. And until the next time, keep coming back.